Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. My name is Kartik, one of the co-founders of ETH Global, and I'm super excited to welcome all of you to Autonomous Worlds. The next hour is going to be talking about all the things that we're going to be doing for the next few days, and let's get started. You are all watching this on ethglobal.tv, and for those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is the platform we'll be using for most of our ceremonies, where you get to interact with everybody here, including myself and the speakers, and put anything in the chat, as well as kind of participate in any of the stuff that we'll be doing over the next few days. And for anybody who signs in, we'll be also giving POAS or participating in this event. So be sure to say hi. Autonomous Worlds is brought to you by ETH Global. And if you don't know what ETH Global does, our goal and our mission is to onboard thousands of developers into the Web3 ecosystem. And we do this primarily by running hackathons and summits, in person and online. And the next few days are about hacking on Autonomous Worlds. This is an incredible, an amazing event. We have nearly 400 hackers from 51 different countries participating for the next few days from 22 different time zones. We kind of put together where everybody's coming in from, and it still constantly blows my mind to see people from so many different parts of the world and 6 different continents. So I'm super excited to welcome all of you and excited to learn about what you will be building and what you're excited about. On top of all of that, we also have 10 amazing mentors and 6 incredible partners. They're going to be here with us for this entire time, making sure that we get to build everything that we want to build for this event. And to top it all off, we'll be giving over $50,000 in prizes for building along with these Autonomous Worlds. So I want to thank all of our 6 incredible partners here, especially 0xPark, Lattice, Optimism, Filecoin, Ethereum Foundation, and NFT.storage. They'll also be giving away some prizes, and we'll cover all those prizes in just a few minutes. So that's just the intro on what the event is and who everybody is participating from across the world. What I want to do now is talk about what the next 7 days look like. We're going to cover a lot of logistics for how everything is set up and how you can make sure you get the best of everybody's help and everything you need to know to be successful for the course of this hackathon. So we're going to be talking about all the team formation stuff, how you can get help, all the prizes, of course, how you can get direct feedback and how office hours work, and then also how judging itself will work for the hackathon. So let's talk about communication first. This is the most important piece. Everything that's happening here is through Discord. All 400 of you are on the Discord, which was automatically kind of connected through your hacker dashboards, and you'll have all the right permissions to see everything about just this event. This is only for the people who are confirmed to participate, so only the people who are actively hacking or our mentors or our partners will be in these channels. We also are hosting office hours that are live daily the entire time, and there are dedicated channels to get help and ask any questions that you have about developing on MUD. And you can also talk to all the core devs here and all of our partners directly to make sure that you are not blocked on anything, and we can help you understand how everything works and any other nuances or anything that you want to know. On top of all of that, we've also given out all calendar invites to all of you. So you should also have a direct invite into your inbox, and you can choose to see what you want to participate in based on your time zone. And we really want this thing to be asynchronous, which also means that anything that you are not able to attend, you don't have to worry too much about, because it is recorded and will be made available instantly after it ends. The whole source of truth is going to be the website, and whatever the website says in terms of the schedule is what will be followed. So how does this hackathon work? Effectively, the hackathon begins now, and you can start working on your projects. We will have people working on teams. You can work on teams of up to 5 people, and you have the next 5 days to hack. Every project that you're building and submitting should be using MUD. And keep in mind the submissions are due on Tuesday at noon Eastern time. That's May 23rd. We'll cover a lot of this and unpack a bit of these details, but this is the quick gist, and you can also work individually. You don't necessarily have to work on a team. If you want to learn something just on your own, you want to challenge yourself, that is also totally okay. So we have a separate testnet for all of you, which has been kindly provided by the OP Labs team. And this testnet for seeing things on MUD will let you kind of experiment with things fast and also on prod effectively. and this will be made available to you until June 1st. The hackathon ends on the 26th, which is next Friday. So a few days after that, this will be shut down. So keep that in mind as you kind of build and use the testnet here. And we really want it to be a place for you to experiment and interact with everything in real time. This is just a really interesting concept for you to all kind of explore. So this should be super fun. All the details about the testnets are on the Discord chat. So just check out the Discord channels here to see how you can get started with deploying on the testnet. So let's get into the rules and criteria. Everything that you are going to be doing for this hackathon must be done from scratch. We are not going to let you work on a pre-existing project. I want to make sure this is fair to everybody as part of this event. So you cannot extend and add features to something you've already been working on. And only people who are fully confirmed from their dashboards are eligible to win any prizes, which means that if you're working with a team member and they're not listed as a team member on your dashboard, or they did not confirm participating in this event and you win a prize, only people who are listed on the team will be given that prize and not anybody else. If you have any other questions, if something is broken or you realize that you're running into some bugs, staking or confirming, ping us on Discord or email or reply on the ETH Global TV chat. We'll be happily able to address and look at anything that doesn't seem like all things are usual. All right, let's go into judging. So submissions are due at 12 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, the 23rd. Now, what does that mean? It means that on your hacker dashboards on ethglobal.com, you will have to fill out the information for what you built, how you built it, and everything else in between in terms of what prizes you want to go for or all the specifics around how everything works under the hood. For this, you have to make a 4-minute demo of your project. This keeps everything aligned so that we can make sure that everything you are doing and presenting is concise, as well as if something goes wrong with a demo for our judging, we have this video to play so there are no technical difficulties in any sort of demo process. Video submissions are required, so please make sure you account for this and save some extra time to really make sure the submission is successful. We really don't expect you to do this last minute, so please make sure you have at least 1 to 2 hours saved for submitting your project. The form itself will take you at least 30 to 45 minutes because you have to cover how something was built. You have to link specifically which lines of code are being used where for what different protocols you're applying prizes for. And the video itself will also take you the same amount of time to really record a concise 4-minute video. If the video is over 4 minutes, it'll be automatically rejected on your dashboard. So please make sure that you are following all the rules and giving yourself enough time to fill everything out and make your project submission successful. All that, again, will be all on your dashboard. The second you go there in the next couple of days, especially with the weekend, all those interfaces will become live so you can see the whole submission process and check out all the steps before the deadline. Now, there's going to be 2 ways that a project will be judged. There'll be a main judging, which will be a live Zoom call. So all the teams will come on a Zoom call and they'll be demoing what they built to our judges on the 24th, which is the Wednesday. But if you applied for any of the prizes, especially with any of our 6 partners, all that for judging will be asynchronous, which means that all of our partners will be watching the video that you made and you submitted, and they'll be reviewing that as well as the project description and your code, which must be open source. And if they have any questions, they'll be reaching out to you directly through Discord or email or any other means that they have to contact you. And then on Friday, we'll know all the information we need to tell which teams won what prizes and who our top 10 projects are from this hackathon. So the way this would work is it's a Zoom call. You will also have 7 minutes per team to present what you built. This includes the 4-minute demo that will be played that you submitted, and then a 3-minute Q&A will happen after that from our judges to help them understand how everything works or clarify anything that they want to know. This call will happen at noon Eastern on Wednesday. This is a synchronous call, which means all 400 people will be on the same call. So we'll have to make sure that we coordinate everything from all different time zones. But this will be a single call that everybody must join. And a lot of those details will be made available to you on your dashboards and over email very soon. And the partners will be able to reach out to you directly for any of those additional questions that they have to determine who is the best recipient for the prizes that they're offering. And this will be all async, done directly at the partner's discretion and their time. To keep it all short, make sure the video is good, because the more questions you can answer and the quicker you can get to your demo and really show what you built, the easier it gets for somebody to understand what you did and why, which is understanding your motivations, understanding the thought you put in, and understanding all the complexity that was abstracted for your project. So really buffer enough time to make your 4-minute video really good. We have a lot of examples for you to draw from. All that is available on your info center. You can see some really good submissions and submissions that we recognize as well done from the past events. And you can use all of those as references to make sure that you are also successful for this hackathon. And now, of course, we want to make sure this event is open for anybody with any skill set. So if you are new, we have a lot of things planned for you. So don't worry too much about not having enough context. There's a lot of workshops and talks here. We are also doing a few sessions. Some of them have already started. A lot of them will happen right after this intro and kickoff. And don't forget that we are doing daily office hours, and we're also hosting feedback sections for you to just kind of demo what you've been building on and get live help from all the MUD core developers. All that information is also on your info center. And just to repeat, everything is recorded. So if you miss something and you want to catch up on that later, or you saw something really interesting, but you want to be able to pause that and spend more time, you can just head over to youtube.com/ethglobal and see all the videos and all the talks and all the workshops, including what I'm saying right now, on demand as soon as it ends. And if you're still looking for an idea or a team, you can head over to find a team channel in Discord, and you can talk to other members of this event who are also looking to partner up with somebody. And of course, we want to know who you are and what you're excited about. So don't forget to introduce yourself in the Autonomous Worlds chat. And there also is going to be another session on idea brainstorming and forming other teams. That's also a Zoom call. So you can check out all of that on the schedule and message us about anything else on Discord. And as I mentioned before, it is totally okay to be able to hack solo. You don't have to work on a team, but if you are working on a team, or you're looking for somebody to offset a skill set that you wish you had to make your project successful, you can use those channels to find somebody that you want to work with. And on your dashboards, you also have this tool that lets anybody who opted in find other team members with specific skill sets. So if you're looking for somebody with Solidity background, or design, or front end, or back end, you can both opt in to this tool and search and find other members as part of this hackathon looking to join a team or looking to add somebody to their team based on a different skill. So check this out on your team page on your dashboard. And office hours and how you can get help is all also set up to make sure that you are successful building on top of MUD. So the office hours will happen twice daily. All this will happen on Discord. This will be a Discord call. And you can also there get direct feedback and help, and really anything you need to know to make sure everything is successful during this event. There's also a specific forum channel to be able to ask questions and have more longer discussions instead of a real-time chat. So you can use the MUD Help forum channel to have larger conversations about your project or anything you want to understand better. These sessions are happening from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. This is the feedback session, specifically on Saturday, which is 2 days from now. And this will be a way for you to get direct feedback from the team to showcase what you've built so far and how you can make that project even better. And I also want to talk about our code of conduct. This is an event that also follows all of our rules and code of conduct from ETH Global. You can check out all the specific details by heading over to ethglobal.com/rules. But the gist of it is that please be respectful for everybody in this community and as part of this event. Harassment and abuse of any form will not be tolerated, and you will be kicked out and banned. And anything that you build as part of this event is solely owned by you in terms of intellectual property of your work and nobody else. And if you have any other questions or anything that we didn't cover here, feel free to ask those questions either on the chat or message us on Discord or reach out to us on email. And anybody on the ETH Global team will be happy to answer any of those questions for you. And if you, in case you want to get to this event quickly to understand what the schedule looks like when judging is, how do we normalize that based on your own time zone, because we're keeping everything in Eastern time, you can just head over to ethglobal.com/autonomous and check out all the information here about this event directly on this website. So let's quickly talk about all the prizes to really make sure that you are able to score some amazing goods here. 0x Park is going to be giving away a lot of money. This is $5,000, and they will be awarding this prize, the first, second, and third, for the best use of advanced cryptography applied to an autonomous world and MUD. So any team that qualifies for this and is applying any advanced cryptography can submit and select this on their submission form, and the 0x Park team will be evaluating this prize. Similarly, next up is Lattice, and the most creative use of MUD will be getting $5,000 in total in first, second, and third place, where first place gets $2,500, second place gets $1,500, and third place will be getting $1,000 for the best on-chain experience using MUD. Then we have Optimism. So anything that mods the OP stack and supercharges MUD will be getting $10,000. And for the first team will get $5,000, the second place will get $3,000, and the third place will get $2,000 for the best hack that supercharges MUD using the OP stack. And we have NFT.storage. So anytime you use anything on the decentralized side of NFT.storage, the top 10 teams will receive $500 in Filecoin tokens. And this is for storing a lot of that information on chain and using NFT.storage. I largely just skimmed over what these prizes are in terms of amounts, but there's a lot more detail here. And if you head over to ethglobal.com/autonomous, you'll be able to go to the prize section there where you can see specific details for what qualifies, documentation, links to their workshop, an intro video about how the protocols and SDKs work, and specifically a lot more documentation and how you can qualify for these different prizes. All that is on the prize section on the website, which you can head over to by going on ethglobal.com/autonomous. And finally, want to make sure that you pace yourself for the next few days. We really don't want this thing to be exhausting for you. I know that 5 days is not a lot of time, but it's still enough time to try something really cool and creative and use MUD and build on top of these autonomous worlds. We really want you to have fun here, and this is very much about experimentation and learning. We want to use this opportunity and this event to really make the SDKs better and make this even better for you to build on in the future. So a lot of it is about feedback on both sides and just seeing what cool things that everybody here comes up with. So that's it on all of the logistics. And we also want to take the time here to tell you about what can be possible with autonomous worlds. And to do that, I want to bring on Ludens and Alvarius to really share what's possible here and get all of you all excited to make the next 5 days amazing and memorable. So without further ado, please welcome Ludens and Alvarius.
Hey, folks.
Take it away.
Yeah, let's go. My slides are on. Okay. Hello, guys. Welcome to the Autonomous World Hackathon. My name is Ludens. I'm one of the co-founder of Lattice. We made MUD and OPCraft. And I want to take some time to go through a couple of slides to put you in a generative mindset, in a mindset where you can come up with interesting ideas that push the envelope of Ethereum. So this hackathon is about pushing the envelope of multiplayer games, performance art, storytelling with Ethereum, and using on-chain computation as a fundamentally new medium. And when the status quo right now is when building on top of Ethereum, people usually tend to stick with the ideas that are around and successful, DeFi, NFTs, and overall just financialization. We can say that Ethereum has proven to be quite good at creating a system where the key verb is owning. You know, in most on-chain applications, you own stuff. And even for supposedly playful applications, most gaming and art projects are skins on top of financialized applications. So we believe that Ethereum can be the world computer, the computer for worlds, not just the financial computer. So for this hackathon, we invite hackers to build mind-expanding applications on Ethereum. Let's get some of that 2016 craziness back, you know, when people were doing insane stuff on top of Ethereum. And my question to you is, what if we were in a world where the verbs on Ethereum go beyond owning? So come in and let's explore the concept of autonomous work together over the next 5 days. And so first, I want to give a short history of digital worlds and the key technologies that have impacted our relationship with them. I believe it's going to make it a little bit easier to come up with great ideas for this event. So following tribal songs and books, the first technology that fundamentally changed our perception of worlds is personal computing. Personal computing allowed early game devs to sculpt single-player worlds in which isolated individuals could immerse themselves in the rule-based structure of a text adventure, a first-person shooter, or even an epic strategy game. And then came Ethernet and later the internet. And network computing allowed for these previously private interactive experiences to be expanded into multiplayer worlds. You know, things like server-based multi-user dungeons, MUDs, and massively multiplayer online games whose dynamic unfolding was no longer based on the participation of a single person. It literally went from like 1 to n. And we think that the arrival of on-chain computing brings something rather new. Things are about to change. It's not about making skeuomorphic new things. It's not about taking things that were enabled by network computing and putting them on chain. We think that the possibility of autonomous worlds, so multi-author, maximally persistent worlds that can not only be experienced by multiple inhabitants, but also expanded by them, is something that is fundamentally enabled by blockchains. And the unique affordances of these worlds can be glimpsed in early experiments with on-chain games. With projects like Dark Forest, OPCraft, and others, we have seen quite crazy emergence that was unheard of in traditional games for such a small player base. It's almost as if these worlds can't help but be composable and emergent. So we think the full potential of autonomous worlds very much remains to be realized. And so we invite you to build games, tooling, and narratives that test what you see as the fullest possible expression of what an autonomous world can be. And remember, these are not just worlds that happens to exist on chain. It's not about swapping your backend from C++ to the EVM. It's about building worlds that could not exist otherwise. How are you going to surface up the texture of Ethereum? How are you going to build worlds that are uniquely enabled by this new type of computing? And I want to give a few pieces of advice. Feel free to take them seriously or not. It might actually be even more fun if you take them not seriously at all and kind of like do the opposite. The first one is have a very liberal interpretation of what a world is. It doesn't have to be a virtual world. It doesn't have to even look like a world. The physics of your world doesn't even need to resemble our universe. World is just a coherent system of entities and rule set for how they behave. It can be a story, it can be a game, it can be a set of physics. Be wild and expensive. Build the world first before building fancy tool on tops. That's a classic. You have an idea for a really crazy, management system you can build on top of a world where multiple players have to accomplish a goal. I recommend building the world first. This is very different from a traditional Ethereum hackathon where you're going to plug into a dozen DeFi and NFT projects. You start tabula rasa. You start from scratch. What physics will you create? This is one of the reasons we give you a fresh chain. So you don't have anything else. You have to build an application that stands on its own. Put it on chain. One of the reasons we have a fresh chain with almost no tooling or external services is that we encourage you to do everything on chain. MUD is going to make this easy for you. Be a maximalist. Don't care about gas cost. Live in the future. And the last one here is explore composable engineering. How can others build on top of your world? Exploit the fact that MUD allows other people to expand your project by adding logic and state. And ask your friends to build something on top of your world during the hackathon. And if you have no friends, do it yourself without using any form of privilege access. That's one, this is some of the craziest thing we saw in Dark Forest and OPCraft were about composable engineering, people coming in and expanding the world. This is one of the unique opportunities you get by building something on top of Ethereum, which is a multiplayer computer. And before I hand it off to Alvarius, I want to go through 4 fundamental tensions of worlds and how it can help you come up with great ideas for a few days, for the next few days where you'll be hacking here. So the first tension is control versus autonomy, right? Your world can be either fully autonomous and permissionless and treat everybody the same, or it can enshrine a certain group as gods. Will you let AIs join your world? Are you going to use proof of humanity to give advantages to humans? Will you explore NPCs, automata, on-chain life form? what even are the relationship of control within your world? The key phrase here would be, if you love something, let it go. Next tension is hidden truth versus agnosticism. Will your world be client agnostic, where different representations of the world can coexist and all be valid? Or will you enshrine a specific truth? Will you explore concealed information, ZK, front-end development as an integral part of existing within your world? The key phrase here would be many truths can coexist. The next tension is stagnation versus composability. Will your world have a fixed rule set? Will you turn off permissionless composability in your mod setup? Or will you explore rule set additions, visual programming, user-generated logic, or even engineering as gameplay? Dark Forest had its Astral Colossus, OPCraft its Supreme Leader. What will be your composable surprise? The key phrase here would be replace the rules with your own. And the last tension I want to explore is entropy versus persistence. Will your world periodically die and reset, or will it last as long as the chain runs, which in our case is only 2 weeks, but imagine it runs forever. Will you force your own diegetic version of state rent, where plants grow on runes and storage slots in your smart contracts fade out and die? Is your world about renewal or conservation? The key phrase here would be, some things are meant to be forgotten. So I hope these were helpful, and I'll pass it to Alvarius, who is going to tell you more about MUD2, the technology you'll be using to bring worlds into existence.
All right, hello everybody. I'm not sure if you can see my slides already. There we go. All right, there we go. Cool, yeah. So I'm here to tell you a tiny little bit about MUD, which is the framework that you should use if you want to make your life easier over the next couple of days. We started building on MUD after having worked on a couple of other projects for a couple of years, which is among them is Dark Forest and Ember. And for these projects, there was no framework yet that existed. And so we had to build everything from scratch. We had to build our own network stack. We had to build our own state sync. We had to build our own indexer, and we had to build our own plugin systems. And out of frustration from having to build all of these low-level things from scratch for every single game that we worked on, we built MUD as a way to abstract all of these low-level complexities away, so that then once this framework exists, we can just focus on the features and the games that we wanted to build. And it worked. For OPCraft that we built last year using MUD, it only took us 1 to 2 months to build it instead of 1 to 2 years as with the projects we worked on before. And since then, there have been a bunch of other projects that have also been built with MUD and launched with MUD. Among them are Words 3, OPCraft, as I mentioned, Skystrife, Asphodel, Museum Heist, Moving Castle, just to name a few. And then in the beginning of this year, we took all the learnings we had from building MUD 1 and also from building with MUD, and we built MUD 2, which is a much more general, more powerful, more extendable, and more gas efficient version of the framework. And if you're familiar with MUD 1 and you're still skeptical about upgrading to MUD 2, I can guarantee you that everybody else who is familiar with MUD 1 and tried out MUD 2 has this feedback for us. Oh my God, this is so much better than MUD 1. So I can guarantee you, you're gonna love it. And during this hackathon, we want to explore autonomous world, and we don't want to be held back by having to sync network stack issues and whatever. And so we made your life much easier with all of these templates that we prepared for you. We have a MUD vanilla template, which is MUD plus vanilla TypeScript. We have a MUD React template, and we have a MUD Phaser template. We have office hours every day at 3 a.m. Eastern time and 3 p.m. Eastern time. And we have a bunch of workshops, 3 of them happening today. And I would strongly recommend you joining them if you want to get a quick start for MUD. We have the MUD 101 starting basically right after this at 1:30 p.m. ET. We have MUD React today at 3 p.m. ET. And we have a tutorial for how to build a 2D game with MUD and Phaser today at 5 p.m. ET. And then tomorrow at 1 p.m. ET, we have a workshop with MUD and Unity. And that's all the information I have for you at this point. And all there's left to say is go wild.
Amazing. Thank you, Ludens and Alvarius. This helps us really get a big brief overview on what would be possible, and we can't wait to see what all of you build. And I'll just quickly, before we end, summarize a handful of things that we just covered. So just to quickly tell you all what the next workshops are today and tomorrow: MUD 101, which is how you can get started with your first ever autonomous world from Avarius, will be happening in exactly 55 minutes. And you'll be able to see where by checking your calendar and your Hacker dashboard to see the Zoom link. Then how you build with MUD and React will be taking place 1.5 hours after that by Kushaba. And then Jason will be covering how zero-knowledge machine learning with EasyKL can be used to also integrate into any of your projects. And then an hour after that will be how you build your 2D game with MUD and Phaser from Kushaba as well. And then tomorrow will be another workshop on how you build a 3D world with MUD and Unity, and that will take place at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. So that is all the workshops. All of this will be recorded, so don't worry too much if you are not able to make something. You can watch and instant replay any of these things immediately. And that takes care of all of our logistics. I want to thank everybody who tuned in and wish all of you happy hacking, and we'll see all 400 of you on Discord. That's ethglobal.com/Discord, and we'll see what you built this Tuesday. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.